Join me as I explore 7 reasons why God's plan is absolutely trustworthy, and see if I can convince you by the end. Having faith in God's plan can be a game changer in our lives. It can bring us peace, comfort, and a sense of direction when feeling lost. But it's not always easy, is it? Especially when we're facing uncertainty and unknowns, it can be tough to trust that God has a plan for us. But today, I want to explore why God's plan is trustworthy and how it can transform our lives. One of the biggest struggles we face when trying to trust in God's plan is uncertainty. We don't know the future, and it's easy to let fear and doubt creep in. We might wonder if God cares about us, or is even paying attention to our lives. We might feel like we're drifting through life without a purpose or direction. And when bad things happen, it can be tempting to think that God's plan isn't untrustworthy. But what if I told you that those doubts and fears are normal? That even the most faithful people have questions and struggles? The truth is that trusting in God's plan isn't about being naive or ignoring the hard stuff. It's about believing that God is bigger than our circumstances and that He has a plan to prosper us, not to harm us. All of us have been in situations where we feel like we're at a crossroads and are not sure which way to go. We might feel stuck or that we're making a mistake. But what if we could trust that God works everything out for our good? What if we could believe He has a plan to give us hope and a future? So what makes God's plan trustworthy? Well, there are 7 reasons that I want to share with you today, and I think they might just change the way you think about trusting in God. The first reason is that God's plan is rooted in His character. He is a God of love, and everything He does is motivated by that love. The second reason is that God's plan is not limited by our circumstances. He can use even the hardest things in our lives to bring about good. The third reason is that God's plan is not just about us as individuals, but about the bigger picture of His kingdom. The fourth reason is that God's plan is not just about the present moment, but about eternity. The fifth reason is that God's plan is fueled by His power, not our own strength. The sixth reason is that God's plan is full of surprises, and it often looks different from what we expect. And the seventh reason is that God's plan is often revealed in the waiting, not in the instant gratification. You know, I think the most profound reason that God's plan is trustworthy is that it's rooted in His love for us. He's not just some distant deity who created us and left us to figure things out independently. He's a Father who cares deeply about every aspect of our lives and wants to guide us into the best life possible. I think about my own life and how God has revealed His plan to me in the most unexpected ways. There was a time when I was facing a really tough decision, and I was struggling to trust that God had a plan. But as I waited on Him, He revealed His plan to me in a way that I could never have imagined. It was a turning point in my life, and it showed me that God's plan is trustworthy, even when we can't see what's ahead. So, let's recap the 7 reasons why God's plan is trustworthy. God's plan is rooted in His character, not limited by our circumstances, not just about us as individuals, not just about the present moment, fueled by His power, full of surprises, and revealed in the waiting. I hope these reasons have encouraged you to trust more deeply in God's plan for your life. Thanks for joining me on this journey of exploring God's plan. If you've got a story about trusting in God's plan, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. And don't forget to check out my other videos for more insights on trusting in God's plan.